Welcome back to Valkyria's Chronicles. Joining us in the trader's
Next is Ipsaria,
hideout.
The Ragnite capital of the world. Sounds like fun, yeah?
Ooh.
Ipsaria was once the leading country in Ragnite production for Europa. Originally, Ruse was lacking in both natural resources and national power, not unlike Jutland. But after seizing Ipsaria, Ruse exploited those resources to become a global power while toying with the existing ones. In a manner of speaking, Ipsaria is the heart of the Rusi Empire. We will have Jutland take it. Our presently destitute country should be rejuvenated by gaining control of the Ragnite.
Which in turn means weakening Ruse.
You magnificent bastard.
Look who's talking. Have you seen your suit?
Once we get our hands on all that Ragnite, my company's net worth is gonna skyrocket.
You wouldn't be the only one to profit. If current issues like inflation or supply shortages are resolved, naturally...
The people of Jutland will see the war as a success, just like we want.
Violet, are any Grand Generals stationed in Ipsaria?
Nope.
And how do the people of Ipsaria feel about Ruse's occupation?
To hear my business partners tell it, they don't think too kindly of their imperial occupiers. After Ruse invaded and took control, the Emperor didn't waste any time cleaning house. Executed the entire royal family along with any loyalists.
That sounds like something Claudius would do.
Still, the effect was instantaneous. There are hardly any dissenting opinions against Ruse there since they fear military oppression.
Doesn't mean their dissatisfaction isn't simmering under the surface. Guess that's where I come in. Got it. We'll distribute an anonymous flyer. A manifesto from resistance forces trying to shed a light on Ruse's crimes and restore honor to their late king.
Straight up sedition, and I thought I was the bastard here.
I take that as a compliment.
Stir up Ipsaria and lay the groundwork, making them more accepting of Jutland. It's a solid idea.
You can leave the distribution of the flyers to me.
Please continue the operation within Jutland as well.
More rabble-rousing? We already threw fuel on that fire.
We'll do it as much as we can.
There's two more, yeah.
A war effort's only as strong as the citizens who support it.
Precisely. Amlet, make sure to pay attention to the citizens when you walk around town. We can gauge public opinion toward the war by their attitude toward the commander of the elite unit. And again, be amicable.
That's rich, coming from you.
Got it. Good. That concludes today's agenda.
Well then, meeting adjourned.
It's about to get real busy around here.
So if I had to guess, I would say that each of the traitors represent some kind of branch. So Amlet represents the military, the guy in the black suit represents industry, pink hair, she's probably sort of like covert.
It's a beautiful sunset. We can't help but come here, can we? This used to be our favorite spot.
Yeah.
I have an idea, Am. What do you say we go grab a drink afterward?
I'd rather just get back to headquarters.
Oh, come on. A few rounds wouldn't hurt.
We don't need anyone getting suspicious of me. Besides, I need to put together a plan to free Ipsaria.
What an annoyingly flawless response. Well, come join me next time. We haven't gone drinking in a while with just the two of us. Even you need to unwind at some point.
Sure.
I'll hold you to it. You just gave me your word. You're a rare breed of man, Am. The kind that doesn't pass out when they go drinking with me.
Oh wow, she's some sort of monster
I
then.
won't let you get away so easily. Well then, I'll see you around.
All right, everyone, let's head back home.
That must have been Maria. Obviously.
How far did we get?
History. Reflect on the true history of the Liberation War by speaking to Professor Rachel Ledroup. Move the stick. Left stick to move the menu. To resume the tale, press X while selecting her. The fragment Declaration War was added to the history book. The glossary was updated. So Archives of Revolution history book. Archives of Revolutions detail important events and allow previous scenes to be viewed. Some scenes will be added to depict events not covered in the usual history books too. Check the archives to learn more about the history of the Liberation War.
You're quite studious. How splendid.
So we could go back and we could... Oh, there's like a something we hadn't seen there. I'll check that out later. Let's resume the story with Miss Rochelle.
Then allow me to continue.
Yes, please do.
I can understand that soldiers die during war. However, according to your story, Professor, Amlet the traitor went out of his way to kill one of the Empire's grand generals. Why did he go to such lengths?
There's a reason behind his actions, as well as why this grave was built as the traders had requested. It could all be seen through the actions of the princess after she had witnessed him kill the Grand General.
Hmm. Training grounds, Elsinore.
Why don't we catch our breath?
Nay, I will carry on.
Fighting against shield bearers. Shield bearers are so defensive you cannot deal much damage to them head on. However, they cannot block from behind, so try to get behind them as often as possible. Additionally, you can break their guard by dealing enough damage, so they are also vulnerable while attacking.
Commencing operation!
So let's lock onto him.
In the name of gently!
Go.
Turn the tides!
Okay. That still doesn't seem very effective. And there we go. Spinning wind.
We'll settle it!
I wasn't locked onto him, I was locked into something at your on the background. It's a bit annoying. Good.
You mustn't push yourself too hard.
Yeah, you just want to stop
Our
me
next
beating you.
operation approaches. I must prove myself by then. During our first mission, I was not but a burden. I wished for my mind to be as well honed as this blade. Only then will my soul know peace.
Are you referring to the soldier you slayed?
My dreams have been haunted by that moment. That, however, is because I knew so little of combat. One who mourns the death of an enemy has no place in war. Because I have declared to my people that I will continue to stand at the front lines, I cannot allow my heart to falter.
They say to pity a starving, dying animal is to show great empathy. But to show great empathy means to put yourself at risk. Wild animals do not worry for other wild animals. To them,
Life is the never-ending struggle to survive, to find food. It's the same for us on the battlefield. There's no room for empathy.
'Tis a harsh world we live in.
Indeed it is.
Indeed. Dark times.
From the palace terrace, everything looks black and white.
That's why you picked up the sword, Your Highness. Because you have a responsibility, both as a citizen and as royalty.
Just so.
I wouldn't want you to lose your emotional investment in all this.
Nor would I. Yet that is precisely why I worry about Anlet.
I've pored over countless records, but there is nothing on him prior to his adoption. The lack of information on him is highly unusual. Did he share anything with you during your time at the Institute?
Not at all. He never was the type to talk about his past.
Huh.
Perhaps I will ask the professor.
Professor?
Our former teacher. I am certain she would...
Your Highness!
Nope. It's not happening.
Finally, I found you. Don't you know how troublesome it is when you go out without telling me where?
She needed a quiet place to practice her swordsmanship. Can't get any training done with you bothering her. Had we told you, you'd just follow along and pester us here. Like you're doing now.
Oh, hush. Now, milady. Let's return to the palace. I'll train you myself if you please. I've wielded a sword against my nagging brother many a time, so I'm confident in my skills. In fact, I'm positive your training would go better with me.
Absolutely not. You never hold back. Or something to happen to the princess.
I never held back against you because you're my brother. If that wasn't obvious, it's no wonder you can't find love, despite sharing some of my good looks.
You two are thick as thieves as always.
Is that how it seems?
Indeed. I already envied your kinship. But the bond you both share really is something special.
Huh.
What kind of sibling would you wish for, Princess? A kind and caring big sister? Or a rambunctious little brother?
Let me see. Either way, I certainly would be content. But if I had to choose, I'd prefer an elder brother. One on whom I could always rely. Someone like Godot, for instance.
You are too kind, Princess.
Oh, is that... Are you blushing?
Not at
We
all.
should return to headquarters. It's nearly time to discuss our next operation.
Already? I was so engaged in our practice, I suppose I lost track of the hour. Let us go then. Good day to you, Miranda.
Guess my big brother's got a soft spot after all.
Oh, that's mean. Teasing your big brother. Okay, so it's going to be more of a case now of
You're quite studious. How splendid.
little bits and pieces, bit by bit. Instead of just being one big, long...
Then allow me
Dump.
to continue.
That's going to be pretty cool. Sort of going back to like the first game, where it was sort of chapters in a book. Promenade, Elsinore.
Even the young individuals who would later be branded as traitors, each had a place to call their home. Fried Eriksson was a columnist who earned his acclaim by often contributing to famous newspapers. His provocative pieces stimulated patriotism in people and led the citizenry of Jutland toward jingoistic tendencies.
Yeah, so I think it might end up being a bit like I suggested, that each of the traitors sort of has influence over a certain sphere. Basil's factory, Elsinore.
Basil Sabanci inherited his adoptive father's company and factory. Through hard work, he solidified his position in the Ragnite industry and used his resources to support Jutland's forces.
The bumbling bard, Elsinore.
Violet Sand was in military intelligence, although no detailed records of her remain.
She's a spy.
She had infiltrated and gathered intel on not only the Ruzi Empire, but various other world powers all by herself. The facts surrounding her only came to light in recent years due to more in-depth investigation and research techniques.
Government.
Solomon Kallenberg, a prominent member of Jutland's parliament, was said to be the brains behind the traitors. A capable and elegant man from an affluent family, his reputation was renowned in political and social circles. He thrust himself into politics, suppressed the non-radical factions of parliament, and allowed the war to continue.
Sounds like the brains, yeah. And next it's Hamlet. Yeah. Promenade. Elsinore.
Amlet Gronkir's facade is well documented through his victorious achievements during the war. The young hero who led the anti-Valkyria squad. Without him, the Liberation War would not have been won. As you can see, they all have different facets. Knowing each one will bring us closer to the truth behind the traitors.
Ooh, is it going to go back to the book? No. Oh, cool. Sol suggested we pay attention to the people and measure their enthusiasm for the war. Palace Street is the perfect place to get a feel for what the average person in Elsinore thinks. The city of Elsinore. Talk to people living in Jutland's capital and listen to what the squad mates have to say. Press X to speak with a character. Okay, so I can't really move. I'm sure I wish the cost of living will go down soon. There's a newsstand. Newsstand. Get up-to-date information on Jutland's state of affairs by heading to newspapers sold in the promenade. Press X to read a headline. I'm rooting for you. Let's see what newspapers have to say. Jutland claims Mulder, Songs of Victory echo.
Nice.
It's about the retaking of Mulder. She's got something to say. Ah, there's the princess. Have you seen the state of the citizens? We must protect all those smiles out there.
Good day to you.
There's a bit of story there. Okay, so I suppose I have to talk to her. Oh my, are you the captain of the elite unit? Dear me, I didn't know you'd be so handsome. This is an old lady. What's textiles for? Looks like all the Palace Street stores are having trouble getting their products. Depending on how the war goes, that could change. I should check in often. Street vendors line Elsinore's promenade. The visible merchant enjoys may vary over time. The anti-Valkyria squad's actions and the state of the war effort can alter prices and supplies. Oh, okay. So if I talk to him now, I can buy some cotton for some heat resistant wool. 20 and 12 krona. I'm saying it's krona. I don't know. Okay. I don't know why I'd need any of that right now. A workshop.
Come on in.
I can order. Ah, okay. So I can make some. Ah, okay. I can buy standard issue gear. Yeah, I think that'd be all stuff that I already have. So let's see about ordering. Okay. Okay, I'll mess around with a bit of that later. So that's why I probably want the textiles. I ought to fancy up and celebrate. Jutland won after all. Ah, there's the team. Community circles. Van Argen's squad mates mingle with each other across Elsinore in gatherings called circles. The squad menu notifies you when a circle is currently active. There's a squad menu.
Hey, Captain.
Never mind.
What? What's up?
Talk to those girls. Please be voice acted. All done. Let's give it a taste. What is it? Huh? This is Cafe Anderson's latest culinary delight. It's a mille-feuille with custard and anchovy. What? Custard and anchovy. You just looking at it makes me sick. Release a cake like this, you might want to put your whole bakery out of business. Yeah, I'm not sure this one's gonna take the cake. Silence. So, like, anyone in the squad, Tilda? Why are you asking me that? Whenever us girls get cake and tea, we talk about love. Got a real one-track mind there, but hey, I'm curious too. Until the war ends, the only other lover I need is my lance. Wow. Come on, you have to have something personal keeping you going. Like I fight to keep someone close to me safe. What about you? We're not talking about me, we're talking about you. Let's see. What about Jorda? He seems dependable. I think he'd work, Tilda. Yeah. Maybe Daryl? He could wrap you in the warm embrace of maturity. Or how about Isaac? Sure, he's annoying, but he's nobility. You'd be set for life. Or maybe the captain. You're both the quiet type, but deep down your souls burn with a fiery passion. Huh? That's it, huh? How about Bloom? What? Bloom? Bloom's Bloom. Sorry. He's not even on the table. He won't be a good fit for Tilda. Like, seriously? I don't know what your deal is even. Fighting for someone you love. Might be nice. That was lunatic. Devise a priority. Coupling. Is it going to explain to me what the priorities are? No.
What's up?
Hey Bloom. Everyone keeps calling me a hero. I only just joined.
Hey, Captain.
Talk about perks. Come buy Ragnites.
Welcome.
Buy. Fire shot. Offensive guard. Field, ice shot, storm shot, distraction, rock shot, attractor. That sounds cool. Pool and panic pouts. Wow, that sounds cool. They're 300 krona each though. Offensive guard sounds cool.
Come again.
But I won't invest. Because how do you get it? How do you select? Oh, that's how you find out what circles are active. Stats, not there. The items. Right, there we go. So I do have Burnfield. I could put it onto someone. I got Storm Shot. Put that onto someone. Okay, maybe not. I don't know, I'll have to figure that out. Let's talk to this guy. It's our Honor Captain. Honor Clans, the pride of our army.
Nice.
Sounds like everyone favours the fight against the Empire. I'm sure they'll support whatever we do next. However, if the fighting spirit goes down, they may not support us. For that, we must continue to win. That's enough recon for one day. Better get back to HQ. Select a place to visit from an area's entrance. Find the exclamation mark. Progress the story. So, are there any more shops? No. Well, we'll go back to HQ. And more loading. Ah, cool. So it's like the HQ, not a little traitor heart.
Need something?
I think you're starting to slip away from the squad. That wasn't like you. I suppose even someone as calm as you gets nervous during the early stages of war.
What's the matter?
Supplies. We must be working hard in preparation for the next mission. If it helps, you can start up
Terribly
supplies
sorry.
here. Sorry, sir, but I have orders to still collect payment, even from you. We don't know the details, but I imagine it has something to do with the limited resources caused by the blockade. Please try to understand. Restock items. Carrying capacity is max. Yep, give me supplies such as healing items stocked. Brilliant.
Well done.
So I can buy all of this. No point, any point. Nope. Cool. Right, I'm going to end this episode here. This has been Valkyria Revolution. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.